All right. So how would we like to do the session today? Because I think we're a little bit different than maybe it was explained. So should I do more of an overview? Should I kind of talk through a couple of things?
Why don't you go ahead and
what's the best use of our time?
Go ahead and do that. You just tell me when you want me to bring, to share my screen so that we can walk through what it looks like in our instance of Brightspace.
Okay, perfect. All right, so hi everybody. I'm Kaitlyn Jackson. I'm a customer success manager here at LinkedIn Learning. So I am SUNY Oswego's CSM. I work very closely. We actually had a chance to have 50 of your students on campus on our New York City office last week. So that was really nice. Got to meet a lot of great students of yours. And so it was just a really fun event. But I work with many different departments across campus to just have best uses of LinkedIn Learning. So we're going to go through a couple of things today, but curious for those on the call, is there anything in particular that you had questions about or in particular that you wanted to go over? So we make sure we cover everything today.
Dan, go ahead. Because
yeah, I was just chatting with Teresa, and I've been working with Kathi Dutton just to try to get the LTI going within Brightspace. So, I'm sold on the benefits of LinkedIn videos, and I use them all the time in my classes. I think they're really well done. They're done by industry professionals. I do audio production, so there's all kinds of really fantastic videos in there that I use all the time. But it's really clunky to use it in Brightspace. I have all these workarounds that I'm just looking for something to make it easy. I put a link, students click on it, boom, they're logged into Oswego's account and they can watch the video and get to work. So it's been sort of a long time coming, but I'm happy that I'm hoping that it's going to solve a lot of my problems with doing that kind of stuff in my class.
Yeah, so we have an updated connection with Brightspace, and so we appreciate everybody's patience just to kind of change things around for how SUNY and Brightspace was configured, and we worked with our teams, and we're really excited to be able to offer an updated LTI, which your team has put together and integrated. So Teresa will kind of show you what that looks like from the D2L end, which is wonderful. What's really nice kind of from a very high level is that you still have access to all, I think it's 21,000. I think we're up to video courses across our platform. But basically, as you said, Dan, you can put it in with kind of right into your D2L shell. So you'll be able to search to launch LinkedIn Learning from D2L, grab whatever you need, whether it's videos or courses, and put it within your course shells. What's also nice is you can use your gradebook for completion and see how students are doing in terms of completion and progress in those particular videos or courses. There are particular features that you may want to leverage within LinkedIn Learning itself. So I can go through a couple of the newer features, especially around things like career goals, if you have some career development goals that you also want to share with your students, and also just some other just nice, cool features that we have in the platform. But I think that connection with the LTI is going to make a world of a difference as a faculty member. To give you a little bit of background, I actually was a teacher myself. I was in K through 12. So I totally understand like the kind of balancing between the different platforms. So this will hopefully streamline that a little bit and make it easier for students to be able to access LinkedIn Learning. And as Danielle said, we do have 21,000 courses that span from industry experts. Our instructors are not told, kind of, they work with our content team to be able to create. So what's nice about it, oftentimes I'm talking to students and other faculty members across other partners. They really enjoy kind of hearing lots of different voices and especially hearing those from those industry experts. And what also is really nice is if I tell students all the time, they're watching videos or have certain experts that they find really interesting, our courses are really engaging, go follow them on linkedin.com. They often are content creators within the linkedin.com space, and also really helpful for students going into interviewing internships and first jobs, because it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in the industry as well. All right, so I'm going to jump into the system. I'm going to share my screen. All right, Teresa, can we just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Awesome. Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So this is the site. This is LinkedIn. Learning this, you have access to everything in here. So what's nice about the partnership that we have with you is all faculty, students, and staff have a seat within LinkedIn Learning. So
Hey,
if Mhm.
Kaitlyn, it looks like you were doing there was a software update on your machine, and that's what we're seeing. We're not seeing the update on the LinkedIn Learning piece. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. Let me do it. I'm just going to figure this out one more time. This is also why I was a few minutes late, because my computer decided to wanted to do the update in that moment. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can.
mine told me it wants to do an update too, and I told it later.
Yeah, I was like, no, this is not the time. All right. Does that work? No, see it now.
All right, hang on. It's gonna take a second to come up. Yep, perfect. It's right there in
Awesome.
front.
All right. Thank you, Teresa.
No worries.
All right. So a couple of things here. So you have, if you come here to the left side where it says topics, you can get an understanding of the breadth of the resources and courses that we have here. So we span a business, technology, and creative libraries, and you'll see here at the top are our trending topics. So for example, technology, we have a lot on AI, as is often something that's on the forefront of everybody's mind right now. Cybersecurity for business, leadership and management, and again, AI, because that's what keeps coming up. We also have certifications here too. So I'll jump into what the courses look like, but just wanted to give you an idea of what the certifications are. So this is a really nice feature within LinkedIn Learning. I'm going to kind of work here from the bottom up. So these CEUs, so for staff or faculty members, or for students that may have certain certifications already, if you have certain hours that you need to put in for like PMI or NASBA, you can get some of these hours within LinkedIn Learning, and those could be counting towards your professional development hours. This is often, sometimes I talk with lots of individuals that are like, oh, I'm going outside my organization and paying for certain courses or things to keep up with it. It's a nice resource that you have for free within the platform. We also have certification practice exams. So if you're going towards a certification, you want to practice. We have a bunch here, and you can see kind of everything that we have available when you press that show all button. But we have, we have a large amount of certificate prep programs. So if you're prepping for one of these particular certifications, you could take that to prepare. And then our newest feature in the last year has been the ability to actually get certificates within LinkedIn Learning. So if you wanted a particular certificate for Microsoft, or there's plenty of other ones here, Zendesk, GitHub, you can take those professional certificates within LinkedIn Learning. Again, not a cost. But if everything is passed and ready to go, you actually get given that certificate for that particular vendor. So I'm going to come back here to those different libraries and just to give you an idea of the LinkedIn Learning scope. So you'll see all of these different all these different topics. And if we go in here, let's just say we go into the different AI courses. You'll see a lot of where to get started. Here are the different courses that we have. We also may have certain learning pathways that are already developed. So as a faculty member, you can request to become a curator. A curator is the ability to create learning pathways or collections for your learners. So you can also create a learning pathway is just a set of learning. You're kind of moving from one thing to another. So you could put a course, then a video, then link out to a particular website, but you're walking your students through a particular pathway in order to achieve something. Those pathways, if you created them within LinkedIn Learning, then you can also pass them over to D2L. So you can grab that learning pathway. So you would want to use that if you had multiple different like videos and courses that you're grabbing from all over LinkedIn Learning, and you want to create one central place for it. That would be a good use of the learning pathway. It just kind of helps the learner stay on that particular path to be able to complete that particular learning. You also can just grab the particular courses. or a collection is just a group of courses. Usually it's more like if you want to give a choice. So if you want to say, hey, here's a collection of all the different courses that we have on presentation skills. I want to offer this as a way to support in our future project. That would be a good use of a collection. So we'll come back to those two different things there. But I want to go into one of the topics here to just show you what a particular course looks like. So I chose data analysis, and I come here to this particular course. So I click on this particular course. You'll notice here on the left side bar that each one of our courses is broken up into chapters, and then each chapter is broken up into small videos. This is purposeful because either you may want to click around to a particular course, so you may not want to take an entire course. Maybe a student is coming in and looking for one particular type of video to get on with their homework or a particular project, or they may want to look through an entire chapter. Or as an instructor, you also may want to say, okay, I only want this particular chapter. So you can grab that into a learning pathway. So let's just say the getting started with data analytics, you just want that particular chapter, or you want just 1 or 2 videos from this course. You could grab those and put them into a learning pathway and not have to assign the entire course. You'll also see here, there's different course details, your different objectives. There's also things like exercise files here. These are files that a student can use, any learner can use to following along with the course. It will show if there's any certificates or exams to take. So you can find a lot on this particular page. You can adjust the playback speed. We have captioning. We have also different other ways to support a learner. We have Q&A, a notebook to take notes, and a transcript as well. All right, so I'm going to come back to LinkedIn Learning here. So those were the different topics. We have topics across multiple, multiple different libraries for business topics, technology topics, and creative library, along with just human or soft skills. But one thing I did want to point out is under our technical libraries, we do have something called Coding Practice, which is a partnership that we have with CoderPad and GitHub that students or any kind of learner that's interacting with these courses can actually use a sandbox to be able to have some real-time practice in a coding environment. So those faculty members that teach these particular courses, this might be a nice way to integrate this into your classroom. A couple other newer features here. So we have something called AI coaching. So this is a way, if you're an instructor or if you want to guide students here, it's a way to chat with our AI coach to have recommendations on particular courses or videos or reviews of certain things. So this is just kind of our version of ways to support on the AI front, hopefully helping and learners be able to access the courses and videos that they need faster and a little bit more personalized. For those faculty members that are also supporting, that want to add some career development parts of the into their curriculum, we have a nice career journey feature here. So if you come up here to career journeys, if this left sidebar doesn't look the same as mine right now, it just means that we're kind of rolling out a new navigation bar. So it might be under something called My Goals. But all of it's basically the same. So this under career journey, this is my goal. I can come here and I can set a career goal. So you may want students to be able to set this to be able to get some information on what their next step should be. For staff and for faculty, for your own professional development, if you want to use this as well, it's a great resource to be able to pull every kind of based on what you want to do in your goal. It's a great way to aggregate all of the resources into one place. I've seen faculty members use it in capstone courses and other ways to say like, hey, students, for their students to be able to set that career goal and then having them take certain career development courses as part of the curriculum. So if I'm a student here and I want to transition to a new career and I want to become an HR manager, one thing that's wonderful about being connected to the larger LinkedIn.com is that we have real-time insights on what's trending in terms of skills and how how skills are being used and searched for. So these are the particular skills for an HR manager coming from our academic graph that we see on LinkedIn.com. So I can highlight ones to follow. And then what it does is it creates this really nice page where it aggregates all of the resources for me. So if I want to become an HR manager, I have here certain courses that are the most popular. I also have a role guide, which I'll explain in just a moment. And then I have just overall resources to help prepare with a career transition. So for students that want to create a career plan, finding a mentor, leveraging my network. It's a nice way to have everything that also we're all kind of constantly learning as we're navigating our professional careers. For these role guides are a wonderful way to kind of learn a little bit about a particular role. So this one is an HR manager role. It tells me a little bit about what the role is. And then it also gives me top courses, both beginner, intermediate, and advanced, this particular role, along with particular learning pathways. So basically what the career goal feature is it tells us kind of where you would like to go as a learner. And we pull all those resources, whether it's the career development parts of it or particular courses that are connected to that particular role, and put it in one place. Any questions so far on career goal features, courses that we have in here, how courses are created, how to use them?
Looks great, Kaitlyn.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about more about the learning pathways, and just because it's just a different kind of way to connect it with D2L. And then what I will do is I'll hand it over to Teresa to show you what this looks like in D2L, and then we can answer any questions from there. So let me just go into within the learning pathway. I'll show you what a learning pathway looks like. This is an example of a learning pathway. These are a bunch of different courses. So we have learning pathways that are already set up. So if you like a particular learning pathway and you want to use it with students, again, you can assign that whole pathway, but it keeps a learner on one particular path. And it will kind of say, okay, you completed this, go on to the next, go on to the next. So they're kind of not clicking around or have to manage different ways to get to those all the different courses or videos that you want them to take. I've seen learning pathways used in a variety of different ways. So either I have faculty members that have used it to create a learning pathway from the beginning to the end of the semester of everything they want to assign and have a student kind of working through the entire semester. I've also seen it in a more short-term loop of like, hey, I'm just going to pull out videos for a particular assignment, and I want you to take all these different videos. This particular learning pathway has has multiple different courses, but you can pull when you're creating a learning pathway, you can just pull the video or pull the chapter. Honestly, it's more of a best practice to just grab what you need rather than putting the entire course, because when you have multiple different courses, you end up with a large amount of content. So this is 15 hours of content. So this is an option if you want to explore the idea of a learning pathway. I would talk with your admin on campus to give you that curator role, and that would give you the ability to create your own learning pathways. And again, those come over into D2L as well.
So we need to be curators in order to build our own pathways. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you wanted to be
Okay.
kind of organized in this fashion, if you want to just pull those particular courses individually into course shells into D2L, you don't need to. But if you want to put it into one central location, you would have to be a curator.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like something that would be really helpful for me.
Yeah, I would say so. The curator role, sometimes I have faculty members that are like, okay, but I'm not going to get like all this other access. Like, I don't want all of the advanced, like back end access of things. It's not an admin permission. It's just an elevated learner role. So it'll just give you the ability to do learning pathways and collections for your students. It's just the ability to create learning to push out or recommend to a group of people.
Perfect.
So oftentimes I have actually have other SUNYs right now that have given curator role to all faculty members and all supervisors. So it's a perfect role for your role. All right, I'm going to pass it over to you, Teresa, just to show you the D2L end, and then happy to answer any questions.
Give me just a moment.
So Teresa, while you get your screen up, Dan was asking specifically about discussions. So after you show general adding to the content, there is also an option in the discussions to add it directly into the discussions.
I figured there was, and I figured some of that would be more, I'm not necessarily, I would do that right now, but Dan, you'd be able to contact us, and I think Doug would probably be able to help you. We have office hours right after that. So that might be one thing you could do, or come another day and they'll help you with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's real simple. It's just you have to know which of the link buttons to click, and then from there you click on LinkedIn, and it's exactly the way Teresa will show you on content from that point forward.
All right. I'm assuming my screen's coming up okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go to course home real quick. So obviously you would go to your table of contents. And in this case, I've already created a module called LinkedIn. If you needed to create a module, you would add your module there, and then it would come up. So basically, you would just go to existing activities and scroll to, whoops, I walked by it, LinkedIn Learning. Now, obviously here it's showing the popular skills that are looked at here at Oswego, but you can do a search here for content. So yesterday I was playing with this and I was looking for project management. I know it shows up right there, but. What I think is really neat, and Kaitlyn, you may need to elaborate on this, was the types. So you have the courses and the videos. And I like the learning paths. And then since you explained that, now it really makes sense to me on how valuable this can be, especially when you're trying to do things in succession for your students to help them through a series of tasks or skills that they need to build to be to meet the learning objectives of the class. So I'm just going to take a couple of these project management courses. and add them to this. So you can, it almost looks like within the course, you're able to create your own playlist in there. So now I have all 4 of those courses in this particular module. So I figured that out yesterday with some instructions from Kathi. So that was really helpful for me to see how this all works. And then just when you click on it, it opens up the video player right within the course.
How do projects get started? When someone,
And then it shows you, it looks, to me, it looks very much like it does when it's, when you're doing it through, whether you're in the actual LinkedIn site or you're within here. So I know the other thing that,
So, sorry, Teresa, can you scroll down for a sec?
yeah,
Way down. So the other thing is below the LinkedIn stuff, you may actually have to use your sidebar because you need to get below the LinkedIn window. So you'll notice at the bottom, you also have a completion summary. This is not, there's a more detailed report that I believe LinkedIn can send, but if you click completion summary, it will show you a list of which students have at least clicked on the video. It doesn't tell you how long they watched it for, but it's a quick way of seeing whether or not people are looking at your resources in the course.
Just to add to that, just so you understand kind of how LinkedIn Learning marks something as completed, as any kind of learner that interacts with our courses or videos, they have to watch 70% of a video in order to be marked completed, and 70% of every video in the course for the course to be marked as completed.
Okay, great.
We will allow it to be, so it can be scrubbed, like you could scrub and move the cursor. It's just if you don't watch 70%, it won't be marked completed, but a student would have to, you have to kind of let it run in order for that check mark to occur.
okay, and then you can just, your students would be able to go through and go through that. My understanding is that, with the LTI, because that will help report the video completions, the course progress, the course completions to the LMS. For the course project, course progress, an update is sent whenever a video in the course is completed. For example, if a course has 5 videos, then a course progress update is sent after the learner finishes watching each video, along with a final course completion update once the learner has watched the entire course. The other thing that I thought was helpful, because again, Dan, I'm guessing this is part of some of the stuff you might be looking at when you go and you look at the grades, and you just go to manage grades. Oh, that's because I played around with stuff yesterday, but it's in here. So you're able to include it or exclude it from your grade book. I'm sure there's a little bit more detail to that, and I'm sure that Doug, Carrie, or Kathi would be able to help more with that. That is not my area of expertise at this time.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is when these are added to the grade book automatically when the video is added, but they are not counted into the grade book. That's what the little exclamation point means. So you don't have to worry about screwing up your grade book by adding videos, but they're there if you want to integrate them after you've added them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Dan, I'm assuming that's much easier. You're just
Yes, yes. If I showed you what I had to do, what
I-
I've been doing these past 2 years, that's
Well, I
like that's the answer to what I've been looking for. Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my course home for now. I'll go back into my contents. Now, Dan, you were looking specifically how to put it into your discussion.
Yeah, I either do them through, discussions, watch these videos, then we'll have a discussion in Brightspace. Or, I say, watch a couple videos and I do like a Google form quiz or something like that to give them credit. But yeah, I do a lot of it as a way to get different discussions going. So how this all works within a discussion forum is something I'm interested in.
All right, so Doug, you may have to kind of help me out with this, okay?
Yep, no problem. So
Um,
however you want to do it, you get to new discussion or new topic. And all you're gonna do is in the description bar, click on the link icon on the top bar. Yep. And this is your quick links, and just scroll down here and you'll see LinkedIn as one of the LinkedIn videos as one of the options. It's near the bottom because you have to get to the third-party tools. Yep, there it is. And it pulls you right back into that same interface. And there's your, now in this case, it does it as a link, not an embed code, but that actually works out well because you don't have, if you looked at their videos, there's a lot of auxiliary information underneath that. And that would detract from trying to just watch a video and have a discussion. So you just put in your link, write your question, and your discussion's good to go.
Perfect.
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. So Dan, do you have any other questions that Kaitlyn can help you with, or Doug or I?
Oh, it looks pretty, looks pretty easy to me. It's great. You just saved me a bunch of work. The only thing I need to do is contact Kathi for to be a curator, or who do I contact for that, Teresa?
Kathy, maybe Dan, Lard,
Oh, Dan
Dan
Laird.
Laird, okay.
Laird,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, so he's usually my contact. So any one of those people, we often just don't want to make any updated
Okay.
permissions without their permission.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Dan, just send it to help@oswego.edu and we'll make sure it gets where it needs to go.
Okay.
The other really nice neat feature that's not in the platform, but if you also want to offer it out to students and even just for yourself as well, we have a LinkedIn Learning mobile app that would definitely encourage students to, well, really everybody, but that ability to download the LinkedIn Learning app within your phone. We have lots of different courses that are audio only, but then depending on the type of course, it might be helpful just to get that learning in as you're going like place to place. So I hear a lot of faculty, students, and staff talk about like, I listened to it on my way to work or on my way to the class or something like that. We have a new feature called daily learning. So it's only available in our app, but on the bottom navigation bar, you'll get like a little bubble that says it's new. It's like bite-sized content. It's very similar to like an Instagram reel or a TikTok kind of feel in the sense that you're served like kind of 1 to 2 minute videos where, so let's just say like a student is engaging with it. They can swipe up if they don't like it, they can double click onto it. But it's a nice way to kind of get that learning in without having to really go and search for what they want to do. So definitely something to tell students and faculty and colleagues about, as it's a nice way to fit that learning in. All right.
Any other questions?
So just in our last couple of minutes, Kaitlyn, do you have the ability to show us what one of the reports looks like when a student or a class has finished watching a video?
So if you're a full admin, you can go onto your admin portal to be able to see what we have 8 different, I think it's like 8 to 10 different reports that you can download to Excel. But those are reserved for full admin to be able to see.
Okay.
In D2L itself, you'll be able to see the completion that comes over. So a faculty member would be able to see, like you showed. I also believe that you have access to it in your grade book as well.
Sort of. I'll have to play with that a little bit to get a clearer picture of exactly how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, between you and Kathy, Doug, y'all will figure that out, and then we can also share out to our faculty what they can see and how they can interpret it.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you so much, Kaitlyn. That was really, really helpful. And I'm so glad we were finally able to bring that LTI in, because I did know it was quite messy. And so I'm so glad it's so much easier now.
All right, great.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for your time, everybody. Have a good rest of your
Thanks,
day.
Kaitlyn. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.